Hey, what's going on? How we doing? Tech issues, as you can tell. If you are joining us, we thank you. We sincerely, from the bottom of our heart, thank you, because we are an hour and a half late. This is when the show should be finishing, and yet here we are, only just getting started, and it's going to be a long one. Nah, it won't, hopefully. It's going to be a cracker. Bergs is not joining us in the coach's box this evening. Unfortunately, he has had to miss the show for the first time in, I think, the show's history, but he did manage to do a quick pre-record around 7:30, and that's part of the reason why we are late. We do have a bunch on the show this evening. We're going to go through PPM. We're going to go through the team list twists. We got Brad Smith and Ross Mann, also to talk some trades and go through some buy, hold, sells for us as well. Of course, I'm joined in the coach's box by my faithful companion, Con.
Hey, mate, how are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. Late as usual.
Yeah, Louis, how are you, buddy?
Really getting into it, really getting indoctrinated.
Not too bad.
And of course, yeah, that's it. Louis. It's not Louis' fault that we're late. Still blame it on me. Nah, blame it on Bergs. Bugger it. He's not here. Stuff him. So, yeah, just hanging on him all night. He'll be in the comments, no doubt. He's having a bit of a rough one. Reg is under the weather and just, power spewing everywhere like a champion, because that's what he is. So, yeah, our thoughts are with you and your floor cleaning, Bergs. Hope everyone at home is all right. But we are here. We are going to talk Supercoach. So, massive weekend. 6 people got the centuries. Did you own any of them, Connor?
I owned Hines.
You own Hines?
I did.
Yeah.
And David Fafita.
Oh, yeah. You see held on to DFE. I'm a DFE as well.
And that's it.
Yeah. What are you doing with Hines? You're holding Hines? You're going to go to Cleary?
Absolutely. Why would you sell him? He's the second. Well, he's averaging pretty much the highest in the game, so...
Yeah, it does. It seems crazy too, but... Yeah, I mean, like, long-term, what do you think you're going to have? You think you're going to keep him long-term at this point? To prove you otherwise?
Yeah, I can't see why not. Until he gives me reason not to hold him, I'm holding.
Beautiful. Alrighty. Well, like I said, we do have heaps to talk about, so let's jump straight into the first thing, which is the PPM roundup from Brad Smith. It puts these together for us every week, as usual. You can always find the article on supercoach360.com. So, yeah, let's head over to Brad Smith.
Evening, Supercoaches, and I hope Teamless Tuesday around 6 coming up has been kind to you. I hope you saw lots of green arrows this last week and you got the right captain, which my team, Hopper's Finger, did not. It was a disaster, but I'm getting used to that this year. Brought in a player and he gets injured within the first 10 minutes. Get the wrong captain. It's just one of those years at the moment for old Hopper. But anyway, we'll bounce back. Maybe I'll even take some of my own advice. I haven't picked one of the players I keep suggesting up, and I probably should, because a lot of them are going pretty good. Say good day to Henry over my shoulder here. He's watching in. He's the apprentice. Just having a look at how I do things here this week. All right, now, this week, I'm just going to mention... some backs to you. We're just going to have a look at a couple of mid-price backs. Now, the reason for this, everybody's talking about the forwards this week, and you guys on the pod, no doubt, will have discussed a lot of options about halves or no halves and what to do there and what to do around the hooking option. So, personally, my team needs to look at a couple of mid-price, or at least one mid-priced back. Why mid-price backs are important is because they're a great stepping stone. For instance, last year, I brought in Hiroti from the Sharks, which I remember mentioning it on the pod here to you boys, and Con had a good old laugh at me and said it was ridiculous. But he got about 240,000, I think, he got before I sold him off. And I was able to step up to Garrick from there, which was very nice. Thank you very much. And I never would have been able to do it unless you get onto those mid prices. So you go from a cheapie, hopefully up into a mid price, and then up into step it up into one of your elite The elite players that I would really love to have, of course, are Manu. Everybody would love to have Manu in their team, but I just don't have the money for it. And I reckon a lot of you lot out there don't have money for that either. And, of course, any of the Cronulla backline. The Cronulla backline's got to be one of the most expensive backlines, Supercoach-wise, in Supercoach history. I don't think there's one. I think there's only one in the 5 in the backline that is worth underneath 600,000. They're just crazy. You know, I'd love any of them. But just a fraction outside my price bracket. And I've really got my eyes on Jesse Ramey, and I reckon he's one that you probably want to finish the year with. And he's one I'm definitely in my dream team. Okay, let's have a look at a couple. And you're probably going to laugh at me a bit here because they're a bit odd, but there's reasons why I think that they're worth looking at. Okay, the first one we're going to look at here is one, Jesse Arthurs. Now, Jesse Arthurs has a BE this week of negative 31. And I don't have to tell you too much here that's going to make you a lot of cash if you jump on him. And he gets a half-decent score. He's 425k, so just above 400,000. Set to make around 60,000 this week. He's got a 3-round average of 65, and I'll tell you what, there ain't too many in the centre wing position with a 3-round average that is better than that. All right, so he's actually quite up there. His PPM is just a fraction over 1. So he's sailing along at quite a good rate at the moment. And I think we could do a lot worse than to get a Jesse Arthurs in, hold on to him for about 4 weeks, and then flick him off for one of your more elite centre three-quarters that you'll be looking for going forward. The other one, which we're going to look at, is, I've never had much time for him, but there he is, Corey Oates. If you'd asked me at the beginning of the year what I have spoken about or even considered Corey Oates, I would have said you were crazy because, you know, he's never been one that's really popped up on my radar. However, with a 3-round average of around 50, he's got a BE this week of 4. He costs you 390,000. It's not going to be too long. He'll be in the mid-500s, you would think. The draw, it has its ups and downs. However, Reynolds does seem to like going out to that side at the moment. You know, we know that it's not Staggs' side, and Brisbane should be using Staggs' and Cobbo's side a lot more. However, I think Reynolds has got a little bit of a love affair going on, particularly with a lot of his kicks going down Oates' side, and Oates is well aware of it too, and there's been a lot of set plays that have been popping up down there. So with a BE of 4, set to make around 35,000 this week. His PPM isn't the most magic. I think it's around about 0.6 over the last 3 weeks when I had a look at it. But, you know, he certainly is one at that price if you were looking to, if you've got a few problems there with a few of your elite centres, or if you've got an elite centre there that you've got to sell off like I do, he might be a good one to downgrade to. He's going to make you a bit of cash, picks up a hole elsewhere, and in my case it's going to allow me to get Grant in this week, and then bank the cash in a few weeks' time, 3 or 4 weeks' time, and look to go elsewhere. All right, well, that's about it, folks. Thank you very much for popping in. I hope Juzzy, you're feeling a lot better there, and you're over all the sickness, and parts of Sydney down there. The boys in Penrith are all starting to dry out. Until next week, let's hope the referees stay out of the game a little bit and let it flow. Maybe they should watch the women referees refereeing the women's grand final. It was certainly a great game there, good win to the Roosters, and they could learn an awful lot from watching how those games are officiated, a lot better than some of the men's games have been. But that's not It's not nothing to do with Supercoach, really. So, till next week, hope you all see some green arrows and have fun.
Alrighty, and we're back. Thank you very much to Brad Smith for that. We've got a lot to get through. Like I said, we had to do a few pre-records at the start, so I'll move through them all pretty quickly. Colin, you got anything you want to add in from that?
Yeah, no, not really. I'll talk a bit on one of the pre-records later, but I don't know if I mentioned it. Corey Oates is a big no-no for me.
Corey Oates, big no-no. Why's Corey Oates a big no-no, mate?
No, well, like Brad said, he's averaged almost 50 in his last 3 games, and one of those 3 games has 102 in it.
Yeah.
So that means his other 2 games combined was under 50.
Yeah. Pretty okay. Fair enough. Anything else in there, mate? No?
No, that's about it.
All right, well, moving on with the goodness then. Of course, we got the team lists. No massive changes this week, really. There's a few people in and out for a week or 2 here and there for suspensions, judiciary. I don't think there's any word quite yet on who's going to pick up that wing spot for the Warriors now that Montoya is out. Or have they named Montoya on the wing? Might have to double check. But anyway, Ross Mann's got all the team list twists.
Welcome to this week's edition of Welcome to this week's edition of Team List Twist, round 6 we are up to this week. There's a few changes to some of the teams, so we'll start off and we'll go to the Raiders and the Cowboys first. So for the Raiders, Xavier Savage has been promoted to the bench at expense of Matt Frawley. Matt Timoko has been named despite his injury last week, but obviously keep an eye out on final sides for that one. For the Cowboys, Cohen Hess is back and starts with Ruben Cotter dropping back to the interchange bench. And Connolly Limu comes onto the interchange bench with JTB and Griffin Neme dropping out of the side due to head knock. South versus Bulldogs, South. Obviously, Latrell Mitchell's out injured for around about 8 weeks with Blake Tafe replacing him at fullback. Hamel Sele replaces Blake Tafe on the interchange bench. For the Dogs, no changes for them. Panthers versus Broncos. Panthers, no changes. Broncos, Payne Haas is out for 1 week for his little off-field discretion with Albert Kelly. Missed 1 week and replaced by Corey Jensen, with Reece Kennedy coming onto the interchange bench. Manly versus Titans. So for Manly, Morgan Harper is out with COVID, replaced by Pokale Koala. And for the Titans, Brian Kelly comes in, replacing Corey Thompson, who drops out of the side with Philip Sammy moving to the wing. Now the other change is Sam Lisone replaces Kevin Proctor on the interchange bench. For Storm versus Sharks, for Storm, Corin Wishart comes onto the bench for Alec McDonald. And for the Sharks, Aidan Tolman returns from COVID, replacing Roy Hunt on the interchange bench. The Roosters versus Warriors, Takiaho returns from injury, replacing Daniel Fafita on the interchange bench, and Sam Verrills plays first game of the season, replacing Drew Hutchinson in the starting side. And for the Warriors, Katawa replaces Jack Murchie on the interchange bench. Dragons versus Knights. For the Dragons, Josh Maguire returns from suspension, replacing Aaron Woods on the interchange bench. Josh Kerr starts at the front row. George Burgess replaces Jackson Ford on the interchange bench. For the Knights, David Clemmer returns from injury, replacing Jacob Safidi in the starting side, who drops back to the interchange bench. And AE Nightmare Jira Momosia is out injured. And the other change is Edric Lee replaces the injured Dominic Young on the wing. And for Eels versus Tigers, the Eels, Logan Blake is out injured, replaced by Nakore, with Will Penasini shifting to the wing. Morgan Kafusi replaces the suspended Junior Paulo, who is out for 1 week. Sean Lane returns to the side, pushing Ryan Madison back to the interchange bench, and Bryce Cartwright drops to the reserves. Tigers, finally some changes after 5 losses in a row.
Yeah, but you're
Dane
cheering
Laurie
now,
returns-
hey?
Yeah, Dane Laurie returns from COVID with Stafford Toa shifting back to the wing. Justin Hastings returns from suspension with Jock Madden dropping back to the interchange bench. And Ken Malalo and Oliver Gildart have both been dropped, with Luke Garner and James Roberts replacing them. And Tyrone Peachy and Jacob Little have also been dropped, with Jake Higginson starting at the hooker position. So that's your changes for round 6.
So, what are the big takeaways from there? For me, with the Titans, I noticed means Greg Marshall's kept his spot, yeah?
Yeah, Marshall's kept his spot over Corey Thompson. And obviously, Cooler getting named is good for those who are looking for that cheapie to bring in for this week. So he obviously won't make a ton of cash straight off the bat because his break-even was only -7 because he had that first game where he came off the bench and played 8 minutes. So that obviously affected his break-even. But I guess the other one is obviously Payne Haas being out for a week. But, I mean, I've seen people trading him out, which I just think is absolutely crazy considering he's only out for 1 week. For me, I'll just be playing the pocket kings, as I like to call it. So I'll just have Max King and Josh King playing in the front row for me. But, yeah, so that's it. They're the changes.
Nice. What do you think of the team list, Con?
Yeah, I'm not sure, really.
No?
Not what to get excited about.
And Blake Taff, you're going to jump on me. He's one of the other big changes, which I see people thinking about.
No, it's an option, but I've got my guns at full. I've got 2 gun fullbacks, and I don't want to sell Schneider or Elias. They're both going to make money. Also, Schneider will play round 13, which will be good for the buy coverage, because most of the halves will be out for round 13.
Yeah. All right.
The only other thing I wanted to mention too is that there's been some mail coming through from Barry Toohey up at Newcastle that there is some players in doubt with COVID for Newcastle, but we don't know who they are yet.
All right, sweet as. I mean, there's a few changes that Edric Lee's returning from Newcastle, isn't he, this week?
Yeah.
You excited, Con?
It's taken a while to get that. 3 out of 8 months since he played footy.
Yeah, just seeing the, Newcastle side starting to come back up to full strength.
No, well, we're not.
Huh?
Dropping more when we get the
Changes for the Tigers. Knight's going out injured. I mean, I can't really complain about what my boys are doing. We're doing all right at the moment. So, yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much, Ross, for joining us for the team lists.
No problems at all. Don't forget to jump on the NRL 360 Supercoach website for all your information.
Legend. All right. Thanks, Ross. Cheers.
Cheers.
Everybody,
Yeah. Man. Phew.
Jesus Christ.
Nah, it's all good. It takes a bit to get your head around. Anyway, thank you very much to Ross Mann for the team list twists. Like I said, there isn't a great deal going on. There's a few suspensions, ins and outs. Dallin is obviously taking the wing spot over there at the Warriors. I'm personally not jumping on. But we do have heaps more to talk about. Sorry if you couldn't understand Con in that last bit, because of we've had to hastily knock together the show tonight due to Zoom and pre-records, etc. We didn't get a chance to listen to that one back. Con had to talk up a little bit. So here's hoping this next one better. We are going to go to Buy Hold Sell with Ross Mann, or thanks to Ross Mann, but we grabbed Brad Smith and Burgos jumped in there as well. So, yeah, welcome to the show, Burks.
Welcome to round 6 of Buy, Hold and Sell for this week. So for the buys, we have Cooler at a price of $175,400. He's available in the centre or back. Played 2 games, he's scoring a 4 and a 59. Now, obviously that 4 was from an 8-minute stint off the bench. He's got a break even of -7 and protected price 29.5. Next 3 games at Titans, Sharks and South. Now, boys, are we bringing him in this week?
Me personally, I am just mainly for a cash grab. I just got to figure out who I'm gonna grab the cash off. Could be Hiku, but I'd still don't mind Hiku's base at 35, 40 odd. So we'll see where I go with it yet.
Yeah, I'm thinking, I'm uncertain. It's not going to cost you too much if you don't bring him in this week because of that 4 in his rolling average. So I think it's only about a 20K pickup this week. And next week, if he puts down another 60 points, I think he'll probably go up about 60 grand. So next week's going to be a big week. But as I've got to try to get Harry Grant in somehow, I'd say someone's got to make way in so I can get a bit of extra cash and get Grant in. So he probably will make it in.
With a 32 this week, he'll go up 30K. So if you can jag a try or two, he'll make close to 60, 70K. Depends on his attacking stats, I guess.
Obviously, it would have been more ideal if he was playing fullback, but I wouldn't be surprised, as we said before we came on here, that they might switch between him and Garrick at some stage during the game. Who knows? But, yeah, look, I'm going to bring him in. I'm going to get rid of Andrew Fafita because I don't need another 80 nightmare up there, so I'm going to get rid of him and move Momorisia up, who's going to be my loop option now that he's out in, and bring up Targo into the back row and bring in Cooler through that way. Anyway, okay, so next we have... What's that?
That's nice.
Yeah. Next we have Blake Tate. Now, 210, 400, halfback, fullback duel. Came on and played 66 minutes last week at fullback after Latrell went off with his hamstring injury, who's obviously been ruled out for 8 weeks, but I'm hearing it could be longer. Scored 39 points, so not too bad. And obviously it's only his second game this week, so you can wait a week before jumping on him. But obviously if you don't own Schneider and you're looking for a cheap halfback option or you're looking to downgrade Latrell, obviously that's a good option to go from Latrell to TAFE because that'll free up a ton of cash to upgrade elsewhere. He's got to break even a 4 at the moment. His next 3 games are Dogs, Tigers and Manly. So, boys, is anyone jumping on him this week?
I won't be jumping on personally because I have the 2-gun fullbacks and Schneider there is tagging along beautifully, so I don't see a reason to get him in at the moment. Hopefully something doesn't happen to any of them this week and I have to bring him in next week, but yeah, he's a miss for me at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm the same. Don't get me wrong, if Schneider was an Ilias, say, because Ilias sort of isn't chugging along as nice as Schneider, I'd definitely do the swap, but with having 2-gun fullbacks and Moses and Schneider, I can't see a place for TAFE in my team.
Yeah, no, he won't be coming into me either. I mean, I've got Schneider and I'm trying to make way for Cleary in about 2 to 3 weeks, so there's no point in bringing somebody just for, that time. Pappy and Teddy at the back, I'm not moving on either of them, so, no room, unfortunate.
That's not going to produce Latrell numbers.
No, he just doesn't have the upside of obviously Latrell's got, right? I guess the only other thing too is he's got the goal kicking, which is obviously a plus for him. I just want to get your guys in.
Souths aren't scoring tries at the moment.
Yeah, I just want to get you guys' input on this because I saw an alarming stat yesterday in the trade-in, trade-out category that I think it's close to 1,000 people have gone to Tesco to Blake Tate. Now, please tell me I'm the only one who thinks that that's absolutely freaking ludicrous.
No, you're not.
I can only go, Con.
No, that's all I had.
I can only see the only upside of that would be the cash for a Nath or someone like that. Which, in saying that, you can probably wait a week for Nath if you didn't bring him in last week against the Dogs.
He has break even 212.
Yeah, so he's definitely losing cash. So, one of those things. I just can't see. I can't see the theory in trading out a gun unless you're trading out Latrell.
Yeah.
You never bought Tedesco in the first place to make money, so he was always just to sit there and just ride the train. I mean, if anybody's got an excuse to rage trade him, I do. I had him as friggin' captain.
So did I, don't worry.
So, we should be rage trading him, but you don't.
Yeah.
There's no point in that. It's just, you're right, ludicrous. Move on.
His break
Well,
even, his break even's 102, which you could easily smash that against the Warriors. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we'll move on to the next guy that I've got, which is Mitchell Moses. Mate, he's been on fire lately. He put out 144 a couple of weeks ago against the Dragons. He's averaging 83.4 points, 155,000 at halfback. And his break even of minus 25 and projected to rise 98.9k, which put him up to about the 750 mark. His next 3 games against Tigers, Knights, and Cowboys. Now, he is one that I'm looking at myself, but I just can't get myself to selling, obviously not going to sell Munster, and I don't think I can sell Snyder, especially for the fact that Snyder also covers round 13 too, because I don't think it's too soon to be starting to look at buy coverage either. Anyone else got Moses or looking at Moses?
I'm an owner. He's done me well, and it was the only reason I bought him was because I looked at their draw, and the draw has just opened up for him now. Like, he scored points against a couple of teams I didn't think he was going to score points like that against. So he's definitely took his game up a level a bit, Mitch. Still got a low one in him, but got a 30 the other week.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't have him, but I wrote an article in the preseason, I don't know if you remember it, about the conundrum between Walker and Moses. Both of them had pretty good draws, and I sort of went through the pluses and minuses of it all. And of course, I went with Walker.
Yeah.
Shit, I wish I went Moses.
I had Mitchell pre-season and swapped it to Walker. So yeah, I'm the same as you, Brado. What about you, Connie?
So I can see that's the only justified reason for trading out Teddy, I think, is to go to Moses and pop Hines down to fullback. Apart from that, I just can't.
The other thing too is the other option is if you've got the right tools of going Luke Keary to Moses as well as another option too.
Yeah, I had Keary piss him off a few weeks ago for Hines. Or Munster.
You'll have to have you'd have to have some cash now for that play, but like.
I think it's about 230k difference between Keary and Moses.
Yeah, it's a big jump.
Yeah.
Crazy considering Moses started cheaper.
Yeah. All right. Before I go on to the holes, does anyone have any other potential buys for this week at all that they think of?
I do. With the dual positioning open up, I'm really hard looking at Tom Malolo.
Yep.
For my front row. Now, second row, he's sort of no good to you, but in the front row, he's very appealing as the fourth. I think he's the 4th highest front row scorer. So,
he is. Yeah,
and plays 13.
There you go. He's really appealing to me, and I just think this is sort of the time to pull the trigger on him.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I upgrade King or if I'm going to have the money to upgrade through young Manny. I'm not sure yet, but I'll have to have a look at that.
Yeah, that's one I was looking at too. Is Hanoi from the Cowboys, because he's up to 47k now. So it's only about I think it's about 80k upgrade to go from 90 to Tom Malolo, and he's got the dual position now, which is perfect. Also, Tom Malolo will play round 13 too. That's another plus.
Bar an injury, of course. Remember last year, everyone loaded up and he got hurt.
Yeah. What about you, Brad?
A couple of buys. Mine's a bit out there, but I do this every now and again. I remember last year I actually came up with and I put it on the pod about a really weird buy, and that was Hiroti. And Con laughed his ass off at me. He said, "Oh, no, you're a fucking idiot." And I went, well, I'm thinking of doing it. Well, Hiroti made me 240 grand in about 4 weeks, and I was able to get Garrick on top of that. So getting a mid-price centre is not such a bad move sometimes. And this week's fits right into that. It's Jesse Arthurs. He's got a BE of negative 31. I reckon a lot of people have missed this one. Jesse Arthur's BE of negative 31. He's just over 400 grand, set to make at least 60k, if not more, this week. 3-round average of 65.
Scored 3 tries in his last 2 games.
Yeah, but that's still a pretty juicy. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I can
I'm
see him
very
like the
tempted.
Talakai of last week. He's put 2 really good games together, got a few attacking stats, and now it's just whether he can continue it on and make that cash the same as Talakai, I think.
I was looking at him this week, but I don't like the fact of the matchup against the Roosters. But hey, who knows? He could jag a try and he could score well. Who knows?
Well,
the
as I
Roosters-
said, it would only be a stepping stone because I want to get a Manu or a Jesse Ramian.
Yeah.
But how do I get to that point? So that's what I'm trying to plan for. You know, yeah.
He seems to be their go-to guy. So it's not stupid thinking if he's the guy that they're going to in that back line. Like,
Yeah.
He seems to be their strike centre.
I didn't know until I watched the game the other day that he's only on loan to the club too. I thought he signed with them, but apparently he's only on a loan. Yeah.
Well, the other one, exactly the same mould that I sort of had, was Corey Oates. 390K, BE of only 4. You know, 40 grand uptake this week. And it's seemingly Reynolds just loves doing set plays down that side, whether it be kicks or set plays or it be cut passes. You know, he's favouring him and Oates definitely got something happening.
What about the other option in the centres and that of Mulatalo or Ramian? Anyone any interest for either of them?
At over 600? Well, I
didn't know they were that expensive.
Yeah,
well, Ramian is sick. Ramian's well over 6, and Mulatalo's about 570, I think. Yeah.
No, I think they're both 6 this week. I think, or it might be Katoa's the other one that's 6 actually.
And they play Melbourne this week too.
Yeah, that's a good matchup for them. They always have a good game against Melbourne.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's usually a grind. It's not usually an open affair.
What about you, Con? You got anything before we go on?
No, nothing I can think of off the top of my head. I think they've all pretty much been covered.
What if you hadn't owned Stags yet? If you hadn't owned him yet, would you think about getting on?
Nah.
No, not this week. Not when they're playing Panthers.
One game out of 5, and their draw hasn't been overly hard to start the season. Doesn't say pick me to me.
Yeah.
Oh, he's no good to me. I'm just asking the question because I've read a few articles, or not a few posts about people going Stags. It's like, well, he's had one game.
Yeah.
Is that what you want? What's the next game? Round 10, mad.
All right, we'll go on to the holds now. So I've got James Tedesco down as a hold. So 683, 700, back position. Obviously, he's not having his best season. I just think selling him is crazy at the moment, especially with the draw that they've got. Yes, he did score bugger all against the Broncos last week, but he's too good of a player, and he's one of those players that when he gets on a run, if you don't own him, he's going to burn you. He has got a break even 102, which you could easily get against the Warriors. Next 3 games are Warriors, Dragons, and Dogs. So for me, they're 3 juicy matchups, in my opinion. And as we discussed earlier, I just think it's crazy to sell him. So I know we've already had this discussion, but you guys obviously all agree on that.
Yeah, I think he's a captain option all 3 of those weeks.
Yeah, me too.
I'm going for redemption and putting the straight captaincy on him again this week. So
I'll see what happens at the moment.
Love some balls to the wall shit.
All right, so we'll go straight to sells then. So obviously Latrell Mitchell is a sell, out for up to 8 weeks with an injury, so he's a sell. Now Nanai is my next one on my list. For those who have him, he's up to 457, 200. He's been a good pickup for those that started him. I know I have him, and he's made about 114K so far. But I reckon with a BE of 79 and projected to lose about 24K, might be time to look to upgrade him to either TPJ or Tamalolo, or even downgrade him to Cooler via some jewels if possible. If you guys agree that he's probably a sell this week, his base isn't exactly great. Seems to be relying on scoring a lot of tries.
I never got on because I was never a fan of any of their back rowers. They just seem to be 30 men without tries, you know. So for me, I can't have that in my side. If it was up to me and I had it, I'd get rid of it as quick as I could.
Yeah, it's all Sam.
Yep. All right, so the last one I've got on my sell is Luke Keary. So 423, 100. Dual 5/8 and halfback. He's had a pretty average start to the year. He really has. He hasn't scored very well at all. He's only averaging about 36 points, including a 14 against the Broncos last week. He's got a great year of 71 and projected to lose about 22K. Obviously, a good downgrade or upgrade to either TAFE or looking up to upgrade to Mitch Moses. Luke Keary, for me, is definitely a sell. You guys agree on that?
Should have been gone weeks ago.
You think it's too late to sell with the run that they've got, or do you hold?
No, I'm still pissing him off personally.
Yeah?
Absolutely. Can't have 4 teams in your team, man.
Yeah, so
Unless your team's absolutely on fire everywhere else and you can afford to keep him for them pod weeks, it's waste of $400,000.
Mm.
You know, we're in the period where you need to be using your money to the best availability you can, and having a dude that's $400,000 going backwards isn't the best for you. You know,
if your team's on absolute fire, I think that's even more of a reason to pick him off.
Yeah. Especially if you can downgrade him to Blake TAFE and bank 200 and something K as well.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. All right. Well, that's all I've got for sells. Have you guys got anyone else that you think is definitely a sell this week that I might have missed?
well, I would have thrown Waka Blake in, but he's out for a lengthy time. So there is quite a few super coaches out there. I think he was about 10% owned at the time. So Blake is definitely a sell. I think he's out for about 8 weeks himself, if not longer.
I would have thrown Dave Fafita in, but everyone sold him last week.
Yeah, no, I'm holding. So
I'm a holder.
I wish I
the other weird one would be Kickow in my eyes. I had a good look at him, but if you got on him week 3, you've made some cash. Probably time now to. He's just so up and down. Oh, I don't have him, but you've made a good stack of cash. What's a trade worth? Well, he's made him at least what a trade is worth. I think he's made you about 180 or something. So ditch him.
Yeah.
Now you get you anyone you want, anywhere you want.
Yeah. And obviously, it's too expensive to hold on the bench and play on matchups.
I think with the way the back row's going this year, I'd keep him. He's going to end up averaging right up there with the rest of them anyway, so I wouldn't.
You wouldn't swap him for an
with his run coming up.
You wouldn't straight swap him. Wouldn't straight swap him for an IPAP or something like that, who just chugs along every
straight
week.
Swap to IPAP. It's about $200,000 odd, but yeah, if you could go to IPAP, he'd be the only one. Him or Haas.
He wouldn't jump on this week.
547 he's at the moment.
Hey?
He's 547,000 at the moment, kick out.
Yeah, so you need nearly 300K to go to IPAP.
Yeah. I don't know. For me, for the extra, for not even the extra, I'd look at a Tamalolo or a TPJ or someone like that instead myself.
What about Murray?
Well, Murray too, of course. Yeah, absolutely. I think Murray's a lot more expensive.
He's up near 700K too now, isn't he?
Yeah, he's up there now, yeah. But it deservingly so. He's chugging
absolutely.
along.
He's 730. He's 739K now. Okay, Murray.
Got away fast, eh, Murray?
Yeah.
He did. He had that 125 like week 3, didn't he, or week 2?
He's just out of reach, unfortunately, at the moment.
Yeah. I think for that sort of price, you'd be better off going with IPAP, wouldn't you?
Well, you could go straight across to like Olakuatu, who is virtually the same player as Kikau, if you know what I mean. He has them low weeks as well.
Isaiah Papali'i is 10K, about 10K cheaper than Cam Murray. And he's dual position too. So I'd probably go IPAP over Cam Murray.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
Well, IPAP does it in base every week, and he's going to jag a try or two here and there. So,
yeah.
All right. Well, that's all we've got for this week for the buy, hold, and sell. Don't forget to jump onto the 360 Supercoach website. There's some good articles in there from Berg, Brado, and the other boys from the 360 team. So, thank everyone for tuning in, and we'll speak to you next week.
All right, thanks for that, Con and the boys. Juzzy just threw me on here. I don't really know where we're heading at the moment, but I'm going to talk about some trades just off the back of that buy, hold, and sell, and the boys are going to give some opinions on what they're doing and what they're thinking.
Who are you trading, boys?
Oh, well, I'll be, I've definitely got Grant coming in this week. It's time for Blake Rayleigh. He's made me a bit of cash there, so it's not much of a step up. So probably a week too late. I probably should have got him in last week. But anyway, he's coming in. Cooler will come in for Waka Blake because I was unlucky enough to have him as well. So, Cooler will come in. And, seriously looking at a third one of Tamalolo coming in. He really piques my interest there. So, that's what I'll be doing.
For me, it'll be Cooler will come in for either Andrew Fafita via Jewels or Billy Smith. Just by doing Billy Smith will then give me the option of going Nani from the Cowboys up to Talamalolo as well, which I'm also keen on for his dual position and the fact that he plays round 13 too. So that'll be my trade this week, and for captaincy, Tedesco is getting the armband again this week. Hopefully he makes up for last week.
Fucking pick.
Yeah, it's a big balls move, isn't it, there, right?
So I'm going to try and get rid of probably Billy Smith to Cooler and then upgrade young Maney to Tolmalolo without using a boost again. And then just play Tolmalolo over Haas this week and have Haas and TPJ in my front row. So that's where I'm going okay as well. TPJ's chugging along pretty well for me.
Who do you think's the better buy of the two? They're both duels. They both play round 13. Who do we think's the better buy out of Pangai and Talamalolo?
Tolmalolo he does the grunt work that TPJ don't do, man. TPJ needs his offloads. He needs a bit of flair, you know. He has got a bit more busy over the years, but I still think the ceiling was, that's why it took me TPJ to start with, because I thought he's just got that ceiling. And if we do start getting some points, hopefully he's like a benefactor of something there. So... yeah. Clean slate, bro. They got a clean slate.
Yeah, they wiped out the previous suspension. Yeah.
Now, is everybody playing Pocket Kings this week, or are we moving Haas, or no one's moving?
If I bring in Talamalolo, I'll bring him up to the front row and I'll start him over probably Max King.
Yeah, that's the play, I think. You got to get him in this week. If you're a Haas owner and you can afford to upgrade one of them front rowers to a Talamalolo, I think that's the play. Even though some of them might have some cash left to make, I think if you've got the cash there, Talamalolo is only going to go up a little bit more, I think. And I just think it's the time to jump on him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fuck Kings. In saying that, the Melbourne Kings seems to just score a try and do some all right shit every now and again. Seems to be when no one plays him, but...
He dead set has a pretty bad PPM at times, but then he just seems to jag some shit, like you said. He just seems to he's in the right place at the right time. And, I mean, the other King, Max King at the Bulldogs, he's good, but he just, he does need minutes. If he gets some minutes, it'll be great.
Yeah,
I can't remember the numbers on Josh King, but I was surprised to see him so high up in the pecking order of people trading him in this week too. There's a lot of people trading him in this week, which I don't understand. Yeah, definitely missed the boat. Probably about 2 weeks too late. Yeah.
This is your week to free up more money to get to a Lolo or even a TPJ if you can do it. Like, it's just that time. Fuck the King.
Yeah.
Like, no offense to the bloke. I know he's in a good Melbourne side, but the problem is there's good Melbourne players and he's not one of them. So he's only getting scraps, you know?
Yeah, he hasn't got the ideal base either with Josh King either, because I think he played about 60 minutes last week, 55, 60 minutes, and scored, I think it was about 60 points, but with a try and a line break, I'm pretty sure too. Yeah, so 30, so take out the line break and the try, and that's only about 35 points in 68 minutes. Not great.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah. That's why I don't understand. He's definitely not a trade in this week.
Who are you doing trades, Con? Or are you hanging on? Yeah. Well, you're lucky that it's one of them positions where you're only 20 points behind. You know what I mean? 30 or 40 if half a good week. Yeah. It's not a big drop.
And how's all our rankings going this week at the moment, boys? Where are we at rank-wise? I know I'm not doing great. Over Stinker, I got 989 with Teddy as captain. I'm dropped down to 36,429.
Oh, I'm 17,000 and something.
And I'm worse than all of you.
Yeah. Juzzy's probably beaten all of us, or fucking
his missus.
Is he? Lewis is smashing all of us, I think, but Louis.
I did shit this week and dropped to 14.92.
Fucking savage, eh?
What trades you doing this week, Lewis?
I'm considering going all balls in. Going Petty to Taff. Wait, let me explain. Petty to Taff. Coates to Manu. CHN to Curran. Which then leaves me enough cash next week to go get into Hines and still have 50 plus K in the bank.
Yeah.
That's the only reason now I can justify trading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only reason. Yeah.
What if he chugs along at 20?
Even if I then trade something like trade Hines down to fullback, got Happy as well as fullback. Trade Hines down back to fullback, and then get in. I don't know, someone else at halfback, but yeah, that's my plan at the moment.
If it all goes,
I don't hate it. I mean, he's got a plan in place. He's not just bringing TAFE in for the hell of it. He's got a plan in place. I don't mind it. You know how I think about selling Teddy. You know my thought on it, but I don't hate it.
I'm the same about selling Teddy. I've always been, he's a gun. Don't sell him. But I mean, if it gives me the option to bring in Hines, who, admittedly, he is doing better than Teddy this year. Let's be honest. And he's got a break even of 94 this round. Hines. Will he hit it against Storm? I don't think so. He might drop a bit of cash, which means that potentially I could have, after doing all that, still could have 100K in the bank.
I think.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm considering putting the T on.
I think Nico
against the Warriors.
I think Nico can go okay against Melbourne with Finucane. They know all the weaknesses, they know all the plays, they know just about everything going on there.
Yeah, I reckon he'll get 25 this week, Nico. There you go.
Fucking hope so, because I'm a non-owner.
Yeah, I hope so too.
I was fucking spewing on the weekend. He just breathed and they gave him points. I swear to fucking God.
He's taken over Tedesco as the new unicorn on Supercoach.
I was fucking hound. I thought he didn't even do anything.
He lost that try assist which they gave to Raymond, which he should have got in the first place, and still scored more points after they took the try assist off him.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to talk about unicorn points, how the hell does Fafita, who I own Fafita,
don't.
how the hell does he get 100-odd points? Like,
He upgraded 30 points.
I think he thoroughly deserved him. They were from last week or the week before.
As an owner, I can vouch for that.
I'm presuming it's thanks to still must own him and just want some points back redemption or something.
Oh man, that was so weird. Upgrade of 30-odd points, and he gets over 100 points. I can only remember one big run, which is a sensational run that led to a try. But where on earth I can't remember any other involvement.
Yeah. 5 tackle busts in that run. It was beautiful.
Still reckon it wasn't a try. I still reckon his hand was on the line. Just a non-salt.
Well, rankings before my son's coming about 450th.
Whee!
How embarrassing is that, right? And I'm not even. And all he ever does is listen to the pod or listen to what I say, and just puts that shit in, right? And gets the right captain every week, and he's inside the top 1,000.
You know what the problem is, Brad? You get PPM articles, but you never follow anything that you mention on it.
No, I should have Campbell Graham. I mentioned him when he was about 400,000.
Yeah,
Christ, I should have him in there.
You know what it is? You do the article and think, fuck now, and it fucks you.
Yeah.
Con used to do it. Con will tell you all the mad players, and then he'll not get them himself doing it. Cheers, bro.
All right, folks. Thanks all up, boys. All right.
Gentlemen.
Next week.
Yeah.
Hey.
Technical issues. So what I was saying is that I'm going to go ballsy with my trades this week. I'm going to use another boost. I'm going Teddy to
Taff.
Teddy to Taff. Thanks, Con. Teddy to Taff. That will free up money for me to then go to Manu through Coates, and then also CHN to Curran. And with that, should leaves me I think 270k in the bank, which then next week I'll then go from Dearden to Hines and still have at least 50k in the bank for the following week. So those are my trades. Con, did you want to say yours?
I think I mentioned before, I'm just doing the call trade at the moment, so that'll probably just be me at the minute. Juzzy, what's your thoughts this week, mate?
Well, I was actually listening to that and it got me a thinking, and I've just managed to turn. I went Connor Watson to Yo, which you said you weren't sort of stoked on, but I just can't see many people at that price point. I don't want to use another trade to trade Ola Kawatu someone sideways for bigger upside. So I went Teddy out, Nico Hines into fullback. And I nuffed Billy Smith to do it because I don't want him sitting in my side as dead weight at this point. I want as many points as possible, so if it makes that trade possible, it's worth it.
So you traded Teddy to Hines?
Yeah.
Big call.
He's averaging way more. I mean, I expect Teddy to click into gear, but my other fullbacks perhaps. I wouldn't mind having him and Cleary at half, but the idea would be to work back to that. I think Teddy might lose a bit more cash before he clicks back in, hard. So, see what happens. What do you reckon? Am I crazy?
No, I think you're crazy. I think the Roosters are only going to get better, and Teddy could score 500 points over the next 3 weeks.
See, I thought that, and then I looked at the Sharks draw, and I realised that his run doesn't look like it's coming to an end anytime soon. Like, he's got a sweet draw. Storm's one of the only decent teams he plays in the next sort of 6 weeks, 8 weeks. It's pretty hectic. And I don't know if he's going to get Origin, being a half now. I mean, we know he can play fullback, so he could probably play in the centres and stuff like that. especially with Trell out. But
His only chance at Origin's 14.
yeah, well, there you go. It was a 40. Yeah, but Pappy might get that walk-up start now.
Yeah, that's him, Paps or Cody Walker for the 14, I think.
You don't reckon Paps gets the walk-up start into Trell's spot?
No, definitely not.
No, he wants like a proper defensive centre.
No, I personally think Campbell Graham will get the centre spot.
Oh, all right, cool. I'm excited for Origin. I can't wait, to be honest. Such good games of footy. Well, thank you very, very much to Brad Smith, Ross Mann, and Bergs for making some time to be able to jump in there and have a bit of a chat to us about buy, hold, sales, trades, the team list, PPM, and absolutely everything else. Hope you guys learned something. So what we do want to do tonight, though, is we want to be able to go over some questions. So I'm just going to pull out some of the Facebook questions here.
You got something there, Louis?
Alrighty, Adrianosaurus. What's going on, Ado? How you doing, bro? He wants to know Haas to IPAP if Haas is out for 2 weeks. Well, he's not. He's only out for one. And then upgrade a cow back to Haas when he returns. I mean, that feels sideways for me, especially with Haas only being out for 1 week. But get IPAP for sure. Thoughts gone?
Yeah, well, it's a moot point, I guess, because Haas only out for a week, so...
Yep, all right. Jesse Budgeon, Teddy to Mitch Moses via Hines. I'm guessing that's Hines down to fullback. Or Teddy to Taff and Haas to IPAP. Oh, you're thinking about it because of IPAP, eh?
No, I'm just thinking about I'm not the biggest fan of either of those, to be honest with you.
Really? I mean, Moses has got to be one of the highest averaging halfbacks behind Hines. And this way you can have them both in your team.
I understand that, but it's at the expense of Teddy.
Yeah, but the only fullback to set the world on fire so far has been Pappy once.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like it.
What about Hines at fullback?
I think Teddy's gonna
straight Teddy to Hines.
come on very soon.
Yeah?
Yeah. I wouldn't be trading Teddy for anything.
Are you holding on to the past? That's my question, because I've been
Possibly.
waiting for Teddy to switch on for weeks, and I'm still not seeing it really click.
Possibly, you make a good point there. It might be sentiment that keeps me in my team, but I'm backing him. Captaining him this week.
Oh, yeah. See, I did it last week. Burned. And the week before. Burned. Justin Askew, save Nanai, sell Nanai or save trades. Is Nanai juiced up? Ready to slaughter?
I think you got to flick him.
Yeah,
get rid
make
of
the
him,
cash while you can.
Get rid of him.
Yeah?
Yep.
All right, Alex Sova. As a non-Nicker owner, I'm really wanting to bring him in. Probably have to sacrifice Teddy to do it. Is he a must or should I wait a bit more? Well, Con's not on it. I am.
And Lewis is selling him to Taff, so he's aboard the selling Teddy train, I guess.
Yeah, just the draw that Hines has coming up. It's just if you don't get on, I feel like if you don't get on Hines by the end of this weekend, by the start of next round, I think you'll struggle to get him in. I think he'll be scoring high points every single week.
Yeah. All right. Alex also wants to shout out his mate Kieran Myler, who apparently is the better Supercoach legend. Wade Murphy, Billy Smith playing for the Roosters. Not that it looks like Bud. Barry McCormick looking to trade Ilias to Cody to give me 4 gun halves. My question: has Cody been playing injured, or is he just not fit? Doesn't seem interested. I'm not afraid of his big break even, as I think it could be a massive pod with Latrell out. Or what do you reckon? Being the South man, Louis?
To be honest, I wouldn't go Cody. As much as... Well, look, last week they played Dragons. And you would think that a player like Cody would tear up the Dragons. He's been controlling the team. He's been doing most of the running compared to Ilias. But he scored 10. In 80 minutes, he scored 10 points. And I think there was he had one game where he scored 59 against, can't remember off the top of my head who it was. But that's his highest score so far.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for...
How much more cash did he lose this week, do you know?
Well, my biggest thing is South have scored 15 tries this year, and he's had a hand in none. When last year, I think he had a hand in almost 50% of their tries. So that's very worrisome. I think it's all the above. I think he's disinterested. I think he might be playing a bit interested. I think injured, sorry. I think the Bennett factor's a big one. I think A-Ray's a big one. I think there's a lot of contributing factors to why Cody's playing like a busted, you know what?
Yeah. Damn.
Well, he lost 48.6k last week. In total, he's lost over 200,000, and he's got a break even of 109 this week.
So he's set to drop even lower.
Yeah.
I thought he was juicy at 550 last week. At this rate, he'll be at 450 in a few weeks. Damn, Code. Brutal. Well, I wouldn't be jumping on Cody Walker. I mean, I know there's the whole thing of it doesn't matter about money, but it does. If he's going to get you garbage points and you're going to be able to get him cheaper in a few weeks, look, if you believe, I know their draw's opening up, but...
Well, when he's leaking cash like that and you want to jump, you want to at least see a little bit of a turnaround of form, like at least one game where he sets up 2 tries or something. They'll see us start to look a little bit better.
What's it? Maybe they're looking to jump on. Who are the Rabbits playing this week?
Bulldogs. They got Bulldogs this week.
Bulldogs haven't actually been letting in a heap of points, like, except against the Storm.
Dragons were the worst defensive team in the comp coming into last weekend, and like Louis said, he scored a 10.
All right. Yeah. Look, I'd be staying away from it. So yeah, I don't know if I'd classify Cody as a gun half. Who would you? Do you have a fourth gun half?
I wouldn't take him out of the gun category just yet, but yeah, you want to see mass turnaround form.
Yeah. Okay, Matty Mehag. Boys, do you think Cotter is a decent option? Is it too late on Josh King? Thinking Teddy to Moses first and foremost. So let's pick that apart in 3 parts. Teddy to Moses.
Well, you know my thoughts on trading Teddy.
Yeah. So you're a no. Would you do Teddy to Moses or would you only do Teddy to Hines?
I'd only do Teddy. I'd probably go Teddy to Hines if I'm going to do that. I think Moses is a bit of a sideways trade with that one.
Yeah, all right. Cotter is a decent option. Not on the bench this week, I wouldn't imagine.
Yeah, being demoted for Carlton Hess this week. I don't see the appeal again.
All right, and is it too late for Josh King?
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yep.
All aboard the Joe King train. No, get off. What are we talking about? Matty Drew, how early do you start to look at nuffs to cut the dead weight to get to your final 20? I.e. Randall, Nanai, Elias, Schneider, Kings, and the likes. At what point do you choose points over money? Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one. Look, I mean, I did one today. Like I said, I nuffed one today. Just to give me that little bit of cash to pull in someone like Nico, who's just complete X factor and could be the game changer this year.
I don't think you really want to be carrying more than 2 nuts through the bye period because it's going to be really hard to field teams.
Yeah, well, that's it. Look, I'm not planning on getting rid of the Schneiders, the Kings, anything like that. A lot of them are bye coverage as well, to be honest. Especially first bye. Randall, I mean, yeah. I can see what you're talking about dead weight. I'm still hoping he comes good and we see a few more. But yeah, if he get dropped, then he's got to go. But at the moment, while he's still got the spot, I'm hoping one day he just fires up. See how we go. Chris Irwin says, let's hope the non-wish version of Bergs gets a run on Parramatta's left wing. Don't think that happened. Chris Irwin, nope. Nanai's a corner, 457. Break even, 79. Best options. Chris, man, if you want to write articles, just write articles, bro. Jared Watson, I have too many problems of players peaked. Who do I prioritise getting rid of? Hiku, Alicia Katoa, Momasia, Hold, Wilton, and Butcher. What do you reckon? Who does he prioritise out of those 5 to get rid of?
Probably Katoa for me.
Yeah, and then Momasia, Hiku, probably Hiku because he can still go down, can't he? Momasia at least is out for a little while. No, is Momasia back? I'm thinking Dom Young's out for a few weeks.
I don't think Momasia got named, and I think Clemmer come in and took his spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Momasia wasn't named.
Yeah, so Momasia can stay there because he's not going to lose your cash, where the other 4 are.
All right. Chris Prince, how long till you guys get the call up to the big time like the Supercoach experience boys last week? We're just waiting for the phone to ring. We just think that Sangster must have lost our number or something. Lake and Ledden says, who would you trade out for Taff out of Teddy or Papi? Oh,
Definitely not Paps.
Nah,
No.
I can't believe you're considering Paps.
No.
You can't get rid of him. But Teddy for Taff, I mean, look, we got one on each side of the fence here, so he's hoping the earlier segments really helped you make up your mind because we're not doing it at this point. Wade Murphy, at the start of the year, a lot of people were just playing Hines at halfback. Just wondering, is it better to play him at fullback now, but having the dilemma of choosing him or Paps as a captain? And that's the dilemma I'm now going to be faced with. Do I go the relatively safe options of Hines, or do I go the high ceiling version? I'm not. If you put him at fullback, you lose that ability to choose. So having him in the halves would be great, but then, to be honest, you just end up faced with the same conundrum against him and Nath. So either way, you're going to be stuck between a rock and a hard place. I think you're going to be battling that all year, especially if he keeps his form up.
Yeah, well, that's it. I think either position you have him at, I'm assuming he's going to be trading him in for Moses to bring Moses in at halfback.
Yeah.
And yeah, obviously bringing in Moses because you think he's going to score your points, make your cash, I guess, too. But he could be a captain option for you at the same time, I guess. I know a lot of people are thinking about going that way this weekend.
Yeah, well, that's it. It's like, yeah, do you go Hines? Do you go Pappy? Do you go both? You know,
Moses against the Tigers this weekend's pretty juicy.
Yeah, well, anyway. Well, I mean, Tigers have a new look lineup this week. They've cut some of the dead weight. They've shed some of the... They've cut the grass.
It's different to last weekend, but they're bringing back in players like Dane Laurie, Jimmy the Jet and stuff like that. So it's not a new look lineup per se.
Paper plane's coming all the way back in. Yeah, but, I mean, isn't Jackson Hastings back this week?
Yes, he is.
And he's going to be playing halfback. Luke Brooks gone to 5'8". I mean, so now what? Brooks is fighting it out for Dewey when Dewey gets back in a few weeks. He's expected mid-season, isn't he?
Brooks is gone, I think. I said at the start of the year, once Dewey's fit, Brooks is gone.
Yeah, I mean, look, given what I'm seeing out there, mind you, I talked to some Tigers fans the other day, and they got right up me for even suggesting it. So,
Well, the Brooks goes.
Yeah, that Brooks goes. Apparently, he's a legend, and he saves tries each week. Saving a try is good, scoring a try, mate. Darren Carter says, Manu for Teddy. I was considering the same option to give me the money to bring Hines in at halfback. What do you reckon, Colin? He's going to play fullback through Origin.
Yeah, well, I've said my piece on Teddy.
Plays the first bye. Yeah, but if you could get him Manu in that position, or would you only bring in Manu in the centres? Or are you not bringing in Manu because you're stubborn?
I said bring in Manu last week.
Good.
But I just wouldn't trade Teddy for anyone. I just wouldn't do it. And I'm not going to.
Oh, I think we've hurt his feelings. Brad Smith says, can NRL clubs use ground security guards as their 18th men? I mean, judging by the performance we saw on the weekend, yes. Well, they should be allowed to. Like, only in HIA or foul play circumstances, though, of course.
I didn't like it.
Oh, what? Which one?
Very old mate smashed the Sheila.
Oh, come on. He didn't smash the Sheila. She's fine. It's been pissing down rain up there. Those things are like falling
If
mattresses.
she wasn't blind, rotten drunk, she probably would have been hurt.
But she was blind, rotten drunk, and she's even come out and said it's her own fault, and the guy doesn't deserve to get in trouble.
Absolutely, it's her own fault. But he didn't have to do it like that.
Well, I mean, he did, because how else is he going to do it?
Judging by someone who's been in that similar situation, they don't have to do it like that.
But anyway. I mean, at least they didn't tackle her onto the stairs. You know what I mean? Concrete stairs at Bank West.
Right.
So, yeah. Look, what about the other one? The other two during the Tigers game?
Well, I can't believe old mate got so close to the players in the Tigers game with a flare. That's just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, well, how about, I mean, the chick got pretty close too.
Yeah, but she wasn't going to be any harm, obviously. Old mate carrying a flare is a bit of a red flag, I think.
Well, I mean, he was literally wearing a red flag too, so...
Well, there you go.
You know.
But yeah, anyway. Seems to be a bit of a weird weekend.
All right, what have we got on the live over here, Lewis?
Okay, let's have a look. Lance George, I'm a Tigers fan, and Brooks has got to go. 10 years, no rep footy, no finals, and next year on 1.1 mil for a dud.
Dud. Yeah, I agree.
I don't know why. They've still got him around for so long. I mean, each year I feel like any of my Tigers mates say, "Oh, this is Brooks' year. This is his year."
Yeah, they're like Parramatta fans. Let's not do it. Shannon Pinkowski says Lewis swinging that big dick. Matty Drew says Hines a must no matter where you get him. Worst case, sell your half and flick him up to get a fullback. Jared Watson, Maiko's echoing. Oh shit, sorry, buddy. I
That would have been when we were playing the
I
video.
can do to fix it tonight, to be honest.
I reckon that was when we were playing the video and I was playing on Louis' computer.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Chris Maxfield says... Oh, wait, you've moved questions. Says, I was on Haas, but when it was 2 weeks, but 1 week, no way. What? Oh, as in on selling Haas.
Yeah.
All right. Tim O'Connor at 52,000th. Is it time to start getting ready for the horse racing season? Yes. Trey Wheelhouse, Teddy to Taff, JTB to IPAP. I imagine you're financing that with Teddy to Taff. Now, I mean, am I just literally flogging a dead horse? Broken record here? What's going on? Fill me in. Just you see me reading the question, Con.
I honestly can see the appeal in every single one of these. Teddy to Taff, Teddy to Manu, Teddy to Hines, Teddy to Moses. I can. In every single one of them, I can.
But you don't sell a gun or you don't sell a Teddy?
I'm not selling Teddy.
Is it just because it's your beloved Teddy and you're like a 6-year-old and you just don't want to let your Teddy go? You just love him?
It is highly possible, but I'm hanging on. I'm backing him to out average.
Are you taking your Teddy to school, Con? Are you that kid?
I'm backing Teddy to out average every single one of them players that they're talking about trading him out for come Origin time.
You going to leave your Teddy at home like a big boy?
He's staying. He's my captain.
All right. Oh, captain, my captain. Fair enough. Chris Maxfield, why get Nico this week when he has a high break-even and is facing Melbourne? Because if anyone's going to do anything in that side, still him. Like, who else is getting through? Mulasalo off something he sets up. It's about it. You know what I mean? Like, Talakai, is it going to be Talakai one-on-one against Justin Olam? Because, that's going to look good. But my money's on Olam, really. Dude's so strong. Yeah.
It won't be. They'll be playing opposite sides, unfortunately.
Spewing.
But yeah, well, that makes a very good point. But like, is Nico going to score? He's not going to hit his break even more than likely against Storm 94. Is he going to score enough points to justify bringing him in with that loss of cash, or is Teddy against the Warriors and that little bit of loss of cash and the more points there going to be worthwhile to you?
Con, we're now approaching round 6. I have waited 5 weeks for Teddy.
Understand it. Right, so who scores more this weekend? Nico against the Storm or Teddy against the Warriors?
I didn't think that Nico was going to average 100.
I get that, but going off what we've seen, who scores more next week or this week? Teddy or Nico?
Given what I've seen on the actual field, Nico.
Okay. Well, then do the Teddy to Nico trade.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. What else we got on there? Hey, lads. Jesse Budgeon. Hey, lads. Do you think Xavier Savage on the bench is worrying as a Tomoko owner? As Tomoko seems like he's nursing an injury. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. How's their fullback spot looked the last couple of weeks?
No, he's played Santa Tomoko. He's injured. I think Savage and Croker are both named in the extended squad. So
yeah, so it could just be smoke and mirrors.
I wouldn't be surprised to see either of those take Tomoko's spot.
Matty Drew reckons put the R&M and watch the late mail. Where are you going, buddy? You're moving so quick. This makes for great listening. Jared Watson says, I rage traded DFE for Talakai last week. Semi-regret. Fafita is lazy and needs to involve himself, but Talakai is a nice cash grab. Well, I mean, to be honest, Deefy gets left out of the expansive Titans football by his halves and his spine. And when they eventually get tired of doing shit and there's literally no one there in dummy half to even pick the ball up, Deefy strolls in, busts 4 tackles, scores a try, and stays in touch in one of the most incredible fashions I think I've ever seen. Some part of his body should have gone over that line. That was impressive. That whole play was just impressive. And, yeah, I think they just got to get the ball to Deefy, get good ball to Deefy more. I mean, I was watching that game in such frustration, watching him just get hammered by 3 defenders every time. Because every time they tried to get the ball to him was only when their expansive football didn't work. And he just, was pretty much there to just take a tackle and just not gain a single metre as a result. Until eventually he just went, yeah, well, I'll just take 40 or 50 now. A few tackle busts, try, line break, whatever. Just strolling. Give him the ball! What are you doing? Give him the ball more often. It's crazy. Matty Drew, Haas was a sell, 2 suspension, freeze out cash for 2 weeks. Jules can cover them. Yeah, that's irrelevant because he's only suspended for 1. Oh, I think you got to go through them slower. I don't know how you read that fast, man. Are you a machine? Wow, Shannon Pinkowski, I'm sorry about what Stags did to you. I've heard that he's done it to a few people within the club, though. So do you work for the Broncos?
You got nothing else on the...
No, I think that's actually about it, to be honest.
Well, I don't know.
Matty Drew, Teddy to no one if he started. I avoided, but no one else lighting it up there, and I think he said it a few times. Nico will score points for flicking his hair. Unicorn points every day from Scott Smith. He doesn't sound dirty on that. Hey, Scott Smith, when is Sawali playing? We're all wondering.
Yeah, he said 4 weeks last week.
He did, actually.
Kick out of Murray. From who's that? Ewan Jackson?
Ewan Jackson, yeah. There's someone else up a little bit further up was suggesting go to Kaloamatangi at 150k cheaper than Murray. Kaloamatangi's not playing Origin, eh?
No, he won't. But
because
Murray's pumping out heaps better scores and a lot safer, I think.
Yeah, fair enough. So you'd fork out the extra...
A lot more expensive too.
That's it. You'd fork out the extra 150k, or you'd sideways kick out of Murray to Kaloamatangi.
Well, coming to this point of the season, mostly there's a reason why players are priced while they're priced there. It's because they're either scoring the same as the person that you trade them to at the same price, or you trade them up to someone $200,000 more because they're smashing them by 15, 20 points in average.
Yeah, fair call. All right. Defy got stamina, 20 minutes left by doing nothing for 60 minutes leading up to it. That's a good point, Matty. He reckons Captain IPAP all the way. Yeah, I'm just trying to afford him. He's a little bit pricey for me at the moment. I didn't go for super premium. I went guns, but I didn't go super premium throughout the guns when I started my year. So I was looking for people to juice up. And a few of them are, a couple of people have had to move on. Not a whole bunch yet, so I'm cheering. I think that's actually about it for questions. Do we have any more there? No?
Not that I can see.
No, that's it. I can't see any others there either. Well, mate, we pumped through that. I say that. Probably still took us an hour and a half. You got anything else there, Con?
No, that's about it for me. Thank you for listening.
I just want to do the regular shout-outs. Want to say g'day to everyone in the Supercoach Hub Discord. Link is in the description to them. Make sure you check out our YouTube channel. And, yeah, thank you very much for listening. Totally Addicted to Supercoach. Ross Mann, Brad Smith, Timmy O, who hasn't been on for a couple of weeks, but I know he's busy at the moment. Dan Hand, we miss you, buddy. Con, for being here tonight. I want to say a massive shout out to Reggie. Get better soon, buddy. Yeah.
Yeah, and Caitlin with the food poisoning and everyone in Berg's household.
Indeed. He's hoping everyone's okay over there. Berg sounds like he's having an absolute great old time.
Well, so, he's just updated me. He's in Mount Druitt Hospital at the moment, so...
Is he? Oh, shit.
Thoughts with you, buddy.
He's hoping they are. All right. Well, thank you very much for listening. Have a good night.
Peace.
Stay coachy, coaches.